Here in New York State, could a deal be brewing that would raise state lawmakers' salaries? Rumors have been flying at the Capitol that a special session of the legislature will be called to consider a pay raise for state lawmakers who haven't had one in 15 years. Legislators can't actually vote on their own pay. They can only vote on salaries for the next session of the legislature. So they'd have to vote before the end of this year if they wanted the pay raise to be effective next year. Is it going to happen? That's the question we put to our political analyst, New York Post state political columnist Fred Dicker, joining us as he does from Albany. And Fred, you got your ear to the ground there. What is this is something that's been threatened so many times, but could this be the year it actually happens?
Well, it could be, Liz, and there's a lot of buzz, as you noted, about it around. But right now, it has not come together. To be done, it really would take leadership from the governor, Governor Cuomo, and he'd probably take some political heat. This is one of the most unpopular things there is out there. On the other hand, the legislators, as you noted, haven't had a pay raise in 15 years. I mean, everybody else at the Capitol has had a pay raise. I dare say if you have a job, you've had a pay raise in 15 years. And if you didn't have one, you'd be filled with resentment. And many of these legislators are filled with resentment. I've argued over the years that one of the reasons, not the only reason, but in some cases one of the reasons we've seen the corruption we have is we don't pay these legislators enough. Now, they make $79,500 a year as a so-called base salary. It's a lot of money in many areas. Downstate, it's not, though. And it's been a temptation for a lot of people to supplement their income by, say, running up their per diem expenses as an illegal scam. But they do it anyway because they resent not having pay. So it's being considered. It would take leadership from the governor. Usually the governor tries to trade something for the pay raise that he wants. But what exactly does Andrew Cuomo want that the legislature has been resisting him on? We don't know the answer to that one.
There had been some talk, I certainly read enough about it, that there was going to be some kind of quid pro quo with the minimum wage. But you were telling me off camera that that's not likely.
Right, and also it doesn't make any sense. I've seen some of those stories too, but if one understands how the Capitol works, the minimum wage is backed by left-of-center Democrats. Well, Speaker Silver and the Assembly Democrats, and they're overwhelmingly powerful, they're ready to pass a pay raise anytime. They don't hide that. What they need is the governor to go along with it, and the Republicans, who have, for the rest of the year, a coalition with a small group of Democrats. They've been resisting it. The governor hasn't endorsed it. So having a quid pro quo, a trade-off on the minimum wage, doesn't make any sense because the people who want the minimum wage are there anyway for the pay raise. They have to deliver something else, and what that would be, it's not clear at this point.
You know, Fred, you sit there, and if you're just a taxpayer sitting at home hearing about this pay raise, and I know 15 years is a long time to go without one, you also have to be thinking, well, they went into that office knowing what the job paid, and they get to vote on their own salaries.
Well, they don't really get to vote on their own salaries, as you noted, because it's the salaries for the next legislature. But the answer to that one is that this is our democracy. It deserves respect. A lot of these people don't deserve respect, but that doesn't mean the system doesn't deserve respect. And if we want to attract good people with some courage, we've got to pay them enough money to bring them out. That would be my response to those people. It's easy. It's a cheap shot to say, oh, they know what they're going to make. Well, don't give them any pay raise in 100 years. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And the practical reality is that a lot of these people are out there hustling because they're not making enough money to lead a decent middle-class life, especially down in the New York City area where most of them come from.
All right. And just a quick word, yes or no, is it going to happen?
I don't think it will.
All right. Thank you, Fred. And don't forget, you can hear Fred on the radio live from the state capitol every weekday morning, 10 to 11 on Talk 1300 AM.
Well, about 50 local girls had the chance to get some hands-on experience at GE today. It's part of the Girls Inc. after-school program. They paired up with mentors from the GE Women's Network. Here's video of them in a lab. They're testing materials, trying to figure out what they are by using scientific instruments. Looks like a lot of fun. They also saw an electricity demonstration, even tried their hand at some programming on iPads. In the day's grand finale, they designed and tested out their own mini wind turbines. Wow. One of the GE mentors taking part says it's all about getting girls interested in fields they wouldn't usually think about.
We're hoping to spark some interest in engineering, math, science, the technology fields, so that maybe they'll take that back and, you know, in school they'll have a renewed interest in what they're doing, or they'll kind of seek out different opportunities or ways to learn about engineering and the technology fields.
It's a nice sample.
Girls Inc. has been coming to GE for Technology Day over the past decade. Every year, GE tries to switch things up so the girls see something new every time. So great.